I'm Wendy Rutledge, and this is Palm Beach TV, a production of the Palm Beach Civic Association. Here's what is coming your way next on this week's Island News. High COVID numbers, storms lining up in the Atlantic. It's a tough month for the state of Florida. We'll hear some tough talk about the pandemic and from the Army Corps as it weighs when it will have to release algae-prone water from Lake O. You'll see a new project to hold excess water and hear how it will lessen the amount of toxic water flowing into the Lake Worth Lagoon. That endless construction on the Southern Boulevard Bridge is wrapping up. We'll tell you about the new and improved bridge opening set for this fall. Life-saving techniques as important as ever. See the simple methods you can learn that could make all the difference when someone's life is on the line. And Christina takes us behind the scenes at the new, improved, and vastly expanded Loggerhead Marine Life Center. It's all coming up next on Palm Beach TV. Palm Beach County big in the national news this week, and not because of our beaches or golf courses or really anything positive, but rather because in Palm Beach County, about 400 school kids in just 3 days are now quarantined at home because of COVID. Take a look at this graph from the CDC website. It shows a steep rise in hospital admissions for children with COVID since July. In the past week alone, the number of cases in Palm Beach County has risen nearly 18%, and the positivity rate is north of 21%. So who is getting sick? The unvaccinated.
And that group of unvaccinated people who are being kind of careless and not wearing masks or social distancing, Delta is running through them like a tornado. If you fill all the beds in the hospital, the people that come into the ER and need to get admitted have no place to go, and so the ER gets full. No place to put them. And when an ambulance comes in, we don't have a bed to put the ambulance patient in. And that's what we're seeing.
Right now, about 90% of the people getting COVID-19 are both younger and unvaccinated. But Christina Nicholson talked to a couple of younger people who were willing to roll up their sleeves and get the shot.
Millennials, stop slacking and get the vaccine. According to the CDC, 1 in 5 18 to 29-year-olds and fewer than 1 in 3 30 to 39-year-olds are fully vaccinated. Here on the island, young millennial Rick Frisbee has been vaccinated since March.
I got vaccinated to help protect my dad, my aunt and uncle, and my grandmother. I felt like I really owed it to the people that I love around me to get vaccinated, more so than to myself. And I was just an added bonus.
Also vaccinated, fellow millennial and town council member Ted Cooney.
For me, the choice about getting the vaccine came down to community and family. I wanted to protect those in my community, be part of the solution to get us past COVID and back to normal life.
The White House thinks the solution can be found in social media influencers, turning to them to post online in an attempt to boost vaccination rate.
The Young event is a wonderful platform for people to learn how they can be an active member and an active advocate of the solutions to the global health crisis.
Some millennials are hesitant to get the vaccine because of the long-term unknowns, and they really don't think COVID affects them personally. However, more millennials are getting sick due to the Delta variant.
I don't know how to change minds. I think public health officials throughout the country are struggling with that question. My personal experience was great. I received 2 doses of vaccine and felt tired the second day and went to a social event 24 hours after getting the shot. I had no side effects.
So even if you don't think you need the vaccine, these millennials say, think again.
You can be actually even more dangerous to the people around you if you don't have it than if you do, because you could be a carrier without knowing it. Maybe you are healthy, maybe you feel fine, but you don't know how it's going to affect the person that you sit next to on the bus, or the person that you're getting coffee next to in the store, or your grandmother if you go to her house to say hi.
For the latest COVID news and information, head to our website, palmbeachcivic.org. For Palm Beach TV, I'm Christina Nicholson.
It's prime time, and I'm not talking about TV, I'm talking about the hurricane season. In fact, lake levels at Lake Okeechobee rose by almost a foot in just the past week, which is causing the Army Corps of Engineers to predict that they will probably have to start releasing algae-laden water by September 1st.
We will absolutely consider whatever the situation with algae on the lake is, but we've got to balance that with when we're at a high lake level position with a high hurricane activity in the Atlantic. It changes a little bit of the dynamic. I mean, when the lake is really high and you've got storm activity and we are concerned about a storm event on Lake Okeechobee on a high lake, kind of flood control starts to take a more predominant role.
A new reservoir currently under construction in western Palm Beach County may go a long way to reducing the inflow of polluted water into the Lake Worth Lagoon. Way out west in Palm Beach County, surrounded by cane and cornfields as far as the eye can see, is the Aggregates, started back in the 1980s as a mining company to supply the various grades of rock needed for road construction. Miners discovered that the very rock they were mining could also do something else valuable: hold water.
They determined that this actually held water. It was a very unique formation, and so it makes it a great place for a deep water reservoir, because you can store the majority of your water below ground. This discovery of the rocky Earth's capacity to hold water led to the construction of this reservoir, the L8, back in the early 2000s. It's 900 acres in surface area, but it's 60 feet deep, so it holds 45,000 acre-feet of water. That's about 15 billion gallons. This water is then fed to nearby stormwater treatment areas, or STAs, where shallow plants naturally extract the excess phosphorus present in the water from fertilizer runoff. The STAs are designed to remove phosphorus from the water by having the plants take it up. As we travel across this vast moonscape, passing massive mountains of displaced sand and dirt, we make it to what brought us here in the first place, to learn about the new project, the C51 Reservoir. Phase 1, which is the one that's under construction right now, the size is 14,000 acre-feet. The capacity for water supply is 35 million gallons a day. The idea was, if we could capture water that's being discharged to the Lake Worth Lagoon, where it's causing harm, store it in a reservoir, and then recharge the aquifer, the utilities could get a sustainable, environmentally friendly way to recharge their aquifers for public water supply. 8 municipalities to the south, including Fort Lauderdale and Miami-Dade County, have already laid claim to the water that will be stored in this phase 1 of the C51 Reservoir project, to be completed in about a year and a half. Why did they sign on? Quite simply because they need the water. However, should West Palm Beach or Palm Beach County be in the market for clean water storage, phase 2 of this project will be available in a couple of years from now. Meantime, none of the water that will fill the C51 reservoir will come from Lake Okeechobee. Rather, it's an answer to the problem of excess rainwater. One of the challenges we have in South Florida is that we get a lot of rain in a short period of time. We might get 5 inches of rain in an afternoon. There's nowhere to put that water. You can't flood people's living rooms. It's storm water that would otherwise be discharged into the Lake Worth Lagoon. The Lake Worth Lagoon doesn't need that water. We want to thank Karen Marcus for bringing this story to our attention and arranging for our filming on site. The C51 Reservoir, a positive step toward reducing discharges into the lagoon, where, as we learned this spring, harmful algae blooms are the unintended result. It must be Infrastructure Week here at Palm Beach TV, because now we have some good news about the very long, very traffic-snarling construction that's been going on at the Southern Boulevard Bridge. The news? It's almost over.
Construction began in April of 2017, a project that involved replacing the bridge over the Lake Worth Lagoon between the city of West Palm Beach and the town of Palm Beach. There will be 2 new bridges, a drawbridge and a tidal relief bridge. According to the Florida Department of Transportation, or FDOT, these replacement bridges will have one 12-foot travel lane in each direction, 10-foot shoulders on each side, with 7-foot bike lanes and 6-foot walkways. Pedestrians will be separated from traffic with a permanent concrete barrier. New decorative lighting, pedestrian features such as overlooks, traffic signals, signage, and drainage are all included. The new bridges will also have architectural features, such as monuments located at each end of the bridges. Advantages of the new bridges include improved pedestrian and bicycle access. The new bridges will feature a solid concrete bridge deck that will reduce traffic noise as vehicles pass over the spans. The vehicle clearance will be increased to 21 feet under the bridge, which will reduce the number of bridge openings, preventing traffic tie-ups and delays. Bingham Island, the Audubon Preserve between the drawbridge and the tidal bridge, will get new sidewalks in each direction along with additional parking. 3 new parking lots with a total of 36 parking spaces will be included on Bingham Island. It's been a long 4 years of bridge construction with a cost to taxpayers of roughly $95 million. The bridge is anticipated to open to traffic in the fall of 2021. I'm sure you've seen one of these little boxes mounted on the wall with the letters AED on it. But do you know what it is or how to use it? Well, it turns out it's very simple and couldn't be more important to learn.
You get no response from this person, and they look to you like they're pale or they're blue. You know, you have a really good suspicion this person is not breathing, this person's in cardiac arrest.
And according to Lieutenant Mahi, time is critical.
If you can get in within the first couple of minutes of somebody going down and you start those compressions and you get that AED on board, the chances of bringing them back they're high. Come up to the scene. I see a patient lying on the floor. I'm going to check responsiveness. Sir, ma'am, you okay? So I get no response. At this time, I'm going to check a carotid pulse while I'm listening and feeling for any breathing. I'm going to try to do this for no longer than 10 seconds. I feel no pulse, and this patient is not breathing. At this time, I'm going to have somebody, if they're with me, call 911, go get me the AED, and I'm going to go ahead and start compressions.
Even better, if you have access to an AED or automated external defibrillator, get it and open it up.
What does it tell you to do?
Pull.
Pull. So as soon as you pull this, the device turns on.
Begin by removing all clothing from the patient's chest.
Right.
Cut clothing if needed.
That's right. The AED machine talks you through the steps. So, back to potentially saving a life. While the AED is charging, you need to be delivering CPR, or coronary pulmonary resuscitation.
Basically, you're just going to pump the chest. Like so. And the goal is to try to get 100 to 120 compressions a minute. You know the song Staying Alive?
Yeah.
Sing the song in your head. Staying alive, staying alive.
As soon as the AED is ready to use, it will prompt you to place the white pads on the person's right chest and left rib. There are even pictures to guide you to the correct placement.
Once the pads are on, okay, this thing is going to tell you, analyzing rhythm, don't touch the patient, okay? It's going to do its thing. It's going to say either shock advised or shock not advised. If it tells you shock not advised, it's probably going to tell you continue or start compressions.
If it tells you a shock is advised,
you hit the button, it's going to deliver a shock, and then you immediately do compressions, and you're going to do that for 2 minutes.
So what does the shock actually do?
Reasoning behind giving it a shock is to get that quivering to stop, and in hopes that the heart will start pumping again normally.
Providing CPR combined with the AED machine more than doubles a victim's chance for survival, according to the American Heart Association. A powerful fact long advocated by Civic Association Director Diana Barrett. Barrett launched the CPR in a Box program in 2019, pre-COVID, when she organized house parties and brought in paramedics like Alex Mahi to train the assembled group of neighbors and friends. Though COVID shut down the program, Barrett says they will bring it back cautiously and safely. According to Barrett, quote, "We are supporting an idea called CPR 2.0 that will be a blended learning method using videos and, when possible, very small and distanced classes where each person would have their own mannequin and AED trainer." A lot of you are already fans of the Loggerhead Marine Life Center in Juno Beach, where sea turtles are rescued and restored to good health. Well, Christina Nicholson now shows us how that facility, which had very modest beginnings, it's on its way to becoming a world-class facility.
Things are looking bigger and better at Loggerhead Marine Life Center.
It's a huge expansion. But there's a huge demand for it. We were just outgrowing our space over there and between the hospital and the research that we're doing.
So much is being done here along the miles of Nesting Beach. The new president and CEO, Dr. Kyle Van Houten, gave me a tour of what's to come for visitors and sea turtles.
This pergola opens up, and we've been out here in the pouring rain, and when it's closed, it's dry as a bone underneath.
This beautiful outdoor space overlooks the new Outdoor Sea Turtle Hospital.
We're renovating our outdoor hospital, and that gives us a much greater capacity to serve sea turtle patients than what we had previously, and allows our hospital to operate at a much higher level.
And inside, a new kitchen for concessions and events.
We'll serve guests here that are here at the center looking at the hospital, coming to see the turtles.
Right beside this huge indoor event space, head up the stairs and you'll walk into this, a state-of-the-art amphitheater.
I'm at home in an auditorium giving lectures, but there's something about being in this room which I think really shows about the direction and our vision and our ambition.
And finally, my favorite part, the new Marine Life Gallery.
In the middle will be this wonderful jellyfish tank, which I really appreciate.
That's cool. From classroom education with veterinarians from around the globe.
This expansion gives us a new opportunity to reach the world.
To up close and personal experience. One of Florida's most visited nonprofit scientific destinations is taking things to the next level.
As we've grown over the years, our story is still the same. We still believe in the power of individuals to make change. And it's going to be really exciting to see this little old loggerhead grow in its influence in the hospital, in our education programs, in our research. And really, what is going to happen here will make waves that'll transcend beyond Florida, beyond this region, and we hope the work that's done here will be a model, a global model for how to do ocean conservation.
For Karen Marcus, who has been on the Loggerhead Marine Life Center board for nearly 10 years, the transformation is unbelievable.
I remember Loggerhead when it was in the trailer next door when I was on the county commission, so I've been a part of its growing and expansion from the very beginning. This part's probably the most exciting, mostly because of what they're able to do in the turtle yard, and also enhancing the education and taking our message more than just about the turtles, but the house they live in, the ocean, and making sure that we all understand the importance of keeping the ocean clean and looking out for red tide and things like that. And so it helps to expand that education like we want to.
You will see some new things opening up here at Loggerhead Marine Life Center from now until the end of the year. But the grand opening is planned for January of 2022. For Palm Beach TV, I'm Christina Nicholson reporting.
That's it for this week's Palm Beach TV newscast. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please forward the link you see below to a friend, or you can find us on social media. And we will see you next time on Palm Beach TV, a production of the Palm Beach Civic Association, where membership matters.